So I'm on eBay transmission number 2. This one works good, just runs a little hot, so I'm gonna add another transmission cooler on it. My old transmission cooler just might, need to be replaced, but I'm gonna do a second small one, see if that helps before or eventually gonna move it and do a bigger fan mounted transmission cooler. But in the meantime, I'm gonna toss this guy on here. It'll fit where I need it to go. It wasn't horribly expensive, had decent reviews, so we'll see how this does on top of my B&M stack plate that's on the car. But first we got the car jacked up, gotta pull the wheels off just to make it a little easier to pull the bumper off, and then I'll get back with you guys. But we got the bumper off. Of course, the side marker light came apart, so we'll try to glue this back together. I'll buy new ones. I lived out in El Paso for a while, so the desert is obviously hard on stuff. That sun just destroys plastic and glue. So I took the intake off, took the vararam, like the ram air thing out. That way you can see the trans cooler right here. We're gonna tap into that fitting and then loop it into the second trans cooler. So it's mounted. All it is, I got my level out, saw where the holes need to be, leveled it up between the two holes that are already there, drilled it, and then ran nut and bolt through it. And now we're gonna link the lines. Well, the second one's in. My idea with this is to bring this one down lower, because this one gets covered up a lot by the vararam scoop. So this one's down lower. As you can see, like this is under the bumper. So like right here is under the actual bumper opening. So I'm hoping with this lower, it'll run cooler, because it's not bad at all driving like highway, because of course the converter's locked. But this converter's so loose in the city, especially when it's 100 some degrees, that the trans gets hot. Like it's not crazy hot, but after doing a few pulls, it'll hit like 190, 200, which once the trans hits 200, I won't do any pulls anymore. That's the secret to keeping a 6L80 alive, is to keep it cool. But they're hooked up. That's the mess I made. I spilled 2 drops of transmission fluid. Lines are in, everything's tight. Just gotta put the intake back on. And then I'm gonna glue my side marker light back on, or back together, because it fell apart. Because like I said earlier, the desert is hard on stuff. But I did order some black side corner or tinted bumper side marker lights, so those will be in like 2 days. It's one of those things I've always wanted to do but never cared to, because it doesn't make the car faster. But now that one fell apart, pulling it off the bumper, guess I'll buy some, which I did. So I'm gonna get the bumper back on, clean everything up, and call it a day. Alright, so I got some Gorilla Glue and just glued this back. It'll hold temporarily. You can't see it from the outside, but when I pulled this out the bumper, the plastic piece just fell off, or the lens, the shell, whatever it's called. So I just used some glue. Where is it? This. Glued it back together, let it dry. You can see it's changing colors. It's like getting white where it's dry. And then we'll put it back on the car. So I let the glue sit overnight, and that's how it looked. I already did this side with a Dremel, just low speed with a little wire wheel to get all the excess glue off. But you can see by my hoodie, Dremeled it. So I just gotta do this part up here, and then it's good to go back on. It's good as new. So I make sure everything works before I put the bumper on. You don't want to put a bumper on and then realize you hook it up a fog light wrong. That's never fun. So this thing, the inner wheel liner, of course, it's been cracked for a while, but it broke all the way up when I was pulling it off. It's one of those things, since I've owned the car, I've wanted to replace it, but I just never have. I finally ordered a new one this morning, but we're gonna do some drift stitches for the meantime. there it is. That'll work until the new one comes in, because you never know what it's going to be like ordering from GM. Could be next week, could be next year. And no, I'm not a savage. I cut the zip ties. See, it's in. See, this piece, like all right here, has been broke for a few years, so I threw the zip tie in there, that way it's not flapping and doesn't break more. Down here was obviously broken, nothing connected to the zip tie, the brake vent to it. You know, little stuff, but it's put together. It's not gonna break, it's not gonna flap around. Hopefully my new one will be in sooner than later. You never know, like I said, with GM stuff. Could be in next week, could be in next year. But got the front on. See the vararam scoop. The new trans cooler. Just gotta put the intake back on and it's done. And put the tire on.